Okay, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to this Facebook premiere event at the University of Stirling. My name is Andrew, and I'm the Inquiries Manager here at the University. And with us today we've got Ali.
I'm Ali, and I'm Head of Student Recruitment.
And we're here just for the next 10 minutes or so, just to answer any questions you've got about results day or about clearing, and just to get you ready for tomorrow and to help answer any questions you have. With that as well, if you do have any questions, feel free just to ask them just here on my left, your right. Any questions, we're here just to respond to them. So if you do have them, just feel free just to enter them into the chat. Alternatively as well, you may also want to be speaking with our admissions office. Don't worry if you can't speak with them today. They're currently under what is known as an embargo, so they can't speak with applicants today, but that will lift at 8:30 tomorrow morning on the 10th, so you'll be able to speak with them there. So Ali, thank you very much for joining us today on a lovely sunny campus right by the Swans. So results day, big day tomorrow for students. There'll be a lot of questions that they might have about logging in tomorrow on their UCAS track. What time can they log in tomorrow? And also what would they see if they've got a conditional offer and they're waiting to hear from their decision from Stirling or other universities?
Okay, so Andrew's already mentioned the embargo period. That embargo period ends on Tuesday the 10th at 8:30 a.m. So you won't be able to log on to your UCAS track until that point, but when you do, you might see a couple of different things. So you'll either see you are confirmed, which means fantastic, you've got your place, you've got into the place that you wanted to be, and you're going to come to Stirling hopefully, or either that, or it will be you are in clearing. If it says you're in clearing, don't worry, all is not lost. All universities have a number of places still available for you, and we'll talk you through some of your options as we go through this event.
Brilliant, thank you. And if a student has met the conditions of their offer, they get a nice message on UCAS track to say congratulations, your place at Stirling or another university has been confirmed. What happens, say, at Stirling in the following days after that? They'll start to receive some emails, won't they, from the university?
Yes, so you'll start to receive the next steps emails from our admissions team. They'll tell you how to either refer yourself on UCAS if you're coming through clearing, or if you've already been confirmed, you'll start to receive information about enrolment, about logging on to your student portal, and also booking accommodation if you want to stay on campus as well.
Because enrolment doesn't open straight away on results day, does it? It doesn't open until the week after, on the 16th. Right. So that's when students can pick their courses, can't they, and start fill out additional information that the university requires.
Yes, and build up your timetable as well. So we all do everything through the student portal, and that will help build up your timetable. You'll get your reading lists, and you can book accommodation, like I said. So but like Andrew says, it'll be a couple of days after clearing opens before you can do all that.
Excellent, thank you very much. Let's talk about clearing now. So with clearing, a lot of students may have never had much experience with it or kind of have an understanding about it. What happens if a student has been placed into clearing, and if they're interested in applying to the university, what do they need to do?
Okay, so first things first is obviously think about what you're interested in studying. Every university will have websites which will list the subjects that are in clearing, because not all subjects are in clearing. At Stirling we have a clearing and exam advice helpline, so our phone lines will be open from 8:30 tomorrow, as well as the option for live chat as well. If you're based in Northern Ireland, you might want to come to our pop-up shop in Belfast. It's going to be located at Wellington Park Hotel, which is just opposite Queen's University, and our colleague Keith is going to be there. So if you want to get a bit more information about Stirling, or you want to be made an offer, then just pop down and see him. But if not, then the phone lines are going to be open long hours, and also the live chat as well. Yeah,
so I think we're live on Tuesday from about 8 o'clock through to 8 p.m, aren't we? So it's a long day. We'll be available via, as Ali said, the telephone line, which is 01786 466 166, and then on our main website, so if you just go to stir.ac.uk, the live chat will be open as well, so you'll be able to speak with us there, either about results or about applying through clearing. So students who apply through clearing, or they go onto the website, they see, if a particular course that they're interested in is available through clearing, they then phone up. What do they need to have ready in order to make an application?
Good question. If you've already gone through the UCAS process, you would need to have your UCAS ID number handy, and just some personal details as well. Either through the live chat or on the phone, we'll take you through the process and ask you a number of questions, but it's mainly sort of your personal details. The critical thing to have handy is if you've gone through UCAS, to have that ID number handy. They'll also ask you things like if you are interested in accommodation or if you have any support needs, just so that we can have everything in place by the time you come to Stirling.
Awesome, thank you very much. And a big question we usually get this time each year is about whether, say, a nominated contact can apply on your behalf over the phone. So we do obviously see some students, calling up each year, either, they're calling on one line and their mum is calling on the other, or their dad. It's very common. Is that allowed? Is that something that can be done?
If you have put, when you were filling out your UCAS form and there was a section on nominated access, if you have put your mum, your dad, your teacher, somebody trusted down as your nominated access, that's fine. We're then able to speak to them on your behalf. If you haven't, unfortunately, it's just that we would have to speak to, because we have to have that authority through the nominated access.
Excellent, thank you very much. And then if a student is successful, they meet they meet the grade requirements that we have for a course. So if they're from England or Scotland or Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland, they then go through and receive an offer. What do they then need to do? So they can't kind of apply for a UCAS straight away, can they? They have to wait till the afternoon of the 10th.
Yes, so like I said, the two critical times to remember tomorrow are 8:30 when you can log onto your UCAS track and find out if you've got a place or not. Then you can phone, try and secure your place on clearing, and then it's 2 p.m. before you're able to actually refer yourself on UCAS. So don't worry, there is a little bit of a window there before you can actually refer yourself. So 2 p.m. is the critical time to refer yourselves.
And our admissions office will give instructions about what students need to do once they receive an offer or a verbal offer, what they need to do to refer themselves. So you don't have to figure it out yourself. We will give you kind of clear instructions, won't we?
It's all detailed in the email that you'll get with your verbal offer, don't worry.
Excellent, thank you very much. And for students from, say, England or Northern Ireland, Wales, Republic of Ireland, there are additional scholarships for them, aren't there, joining the University of Stirling, which you might not have heard about if you've kind of just looked at Stirling recently through clearing. There are different scholarships available, aren't there?
Yes, so first of all, we've got our clearing scholarship, and that's £1,000 to thank you for coming to Stirling. We've also got our Honours Year Scholarship, so if you start in year one, obviously it's a 4-year course in Stirling, so the 4th year there are no fees. That's our Honours Year Scholarship. And depending on the grades that you achieve in your A-levels, BTEC, etc., depending on those, we also offer a merit scholarship, which is for each of the 3 years, and that's another £1,000.
Excellent, thank you very much. And also another key thing that people that are applying through clearing are eager to know about is whether accommodation will be available. And we're very lucky that we have thousands of spaces, thousands of rooms on campus available for students. We're very lucky in that regard. Can you tell us what students applying through clearing need to do, or if there are spaces available? How does that work?
Yes, so provided that you apply for your student accommodation by the 31st of August, we will guarantee student accommodation for you. So like Andrew says, we've actually got a student village on the campus. We've got about 2,000 student rooms on the campus. So provided you apply by the 31st of August, then you would be able to secure your place. Again, that's done through the portal. So you need to refer yourself through UCAS first of all, and then you'll get instructions as to how to apply for accommodation.
Awesome, thank you very much. And then the last big question we usually get from students who are applying from the rest of the UK are about funding opportunities. So if a student has applied for a course at another institution and they've enter clearing, they then get a clearing place at Stirling, what do they need to do? Do they need to notify their funding provider?
Yes, you would need to notify. The likes of Student Finance England, Student Finance NI, etc. They prefer you to have your application in before necessarily knowing where you're actually going to go, so that they can start processing applications. So if you've already got your application in with one of these finance providers, then notify them once you've secured your place at Stirling. That's the best thing to do, so that they can ensure that your funding is available for when you start with us in September. The other thing I want to just note that I forgot to mention earlier, Andrew, is when I was talking about scholarships. Well, obviously, last year Stirling was UK Sports University of the Year. We're Scotland's University for Sporting Excellence, and you may or may not know that Duncan Scott, one of our recent graduates, has become the first British Olympian to secure 4 medals in Olympic Games. Well, as you would expect, we also provide a range of sports scholarships. Those you actually have to apply for, but if you need any information about that, then you can ask one of us through the live chat or in the on the call centre.
Yeah, and we're also offering a scheme this year where if you do receive an offer through clearing, you'll be able to book in a time later on in the week where you can speak with a member of staff about joining Stirling. Because obviously on results day you might have a lot of questions, you might forget some of them. Obviously it's a very fast-paced time in terms of going and finding offers. So we'll be offering that to offer holders on results day, just for them to book in a time if they wanted to come and speak with us later on, where they might have more time to get more questions ready and just to get ready to experience Stirling really. So we'll be offering that this year as well. Some of the key questions we get each year, or particularly in the last couple of years, is about how teaching is working.
Okay.
So were you able to just talk about how teaching is working for students once they arrive in September? What is that going to look like this year?
Yeah. So I should have mentioned in terms of the accommodation, we'll be operating staggered arrivals for 2 weeks prior to the start of term. So if you wanted to come and a little bit early, you can actually book in slots for arrival up to 2 weeks prior to the start of term. So I think it's the 30th of August you can arrive from. But in terms of teaching, well, this is what we all want to know. Because restrictions have started to lift, our aims for the autumn semester is that most teaching will be face-to-face, whether it be tutorials, seminars, lab-based work. The one exception will be any lectures over 50 people. They will be online, but the plan is that everything else will be face-to-face.
Excellent. And actually this leads on, as you were speaking about accommodation earlier, another question we usually get this time of year is when will offer holders start to receive information about when they can move in, how they can what their room will be, what they need to bring, so on and so forth. When will they start receiving that information?
Well, so if those of you who have come through the main cycle, they are actually starting to put out the offers from tomorrow. So you should hear this week. If you are applying through clearing, as soon as you get your application in, they'll be turning it around really quickly. And again, most of that information will come through your portal. So make sure you keep logging onto that to get the most up-to-date information.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And then the final kind of big question that we've had about, say, the changes over the last year or so is about safety on campus and the kind of steps that we're taking to support students once they arrive, but then also just around the campus in general. Were you able just to give us kind of an understanding about what that looks like and kind of give us a bit more information about that?
Well, until things change from government advice, in Scotland we're still operating mandatory face masks in public places. There's also hand sanitisers right throughout the campus, and we are still operating to a certain extent social distancing as well. Safety first, and it's one of it's always consistently been voted one of the safest campuses. Additionally, if you have gone out into Stirling and for some reason you've left your wallet behind, we also have a safe taxi service. You obviously have to pay the money back afterwards, but it makes sure that you get home safely to campus should you get stuck like that. So
excellent.
Yeah, safety first at Stirling.
And if you do want to go and take a look at these in more detail about, say, accommodation or about kind of teaching, what that's going to look like, or about safety on campus, we have our Changes at Stirling website. So you can just Google that and take a look on our kind of website at that. It's a kind of microsite that brings together all of the changes over the last year regarding COVID and what it means for this September coming up. So do take a look on that online. It'll give you the full guide in terms of preparing to join us, and then also kind of additional information about teaching and about accommodation as well. Again, we're here for the next few minutes just to answer any questions you might have. So if you do have any questions, just feel free to put them onto the chat just next to me, and we're always more than happy to help. And again, we'll be here from 8 a.m. tomorrow to answer any questions that you might have about results or about applying through clearing. Technically, clearing opens or track opens from 8:30 a.m. On Tuesday. Again, the telephone number, I'll just give it one more time, is 01786 466 166. And we'll also be available on the live chat, which is just on our main website, where you can come and speak to us as well. But Ali, thank you very much for joining us today, just to answer any questions about clearing and results day. We wish you all the best if you've got results out tomorrow. and we'll hopefully look forward to seeing you on campus this September. So have a good day.